Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 393rd One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, August 26, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host once again in this weekly series of workshops. It's been ongoing continuously for the last 392. And again, we are joined with members and support members of the Universal Council who are here to present today's program. So without further ado, let me get that ready. And
thank you, Rick.
We shall begin. Hi, Mark.
A new strength of the soul will appear. Is this what we're witnessing right before our eyes? We want to thank you for joining together today, everyone that's here, in the name of our souls. And of course, it's not by coincidence you're here. As we know, there are no coincidences, and we appreciate you giving your time and attention to this change that's going on. Well, we have an opportunity to bring a new operating system into the arena. We're setting up what's called the One Nation Network, and this will bring a change in education and in currencies and in passports and in finance. And we're asking the knowledge seekers and the others to bring it forward and gift it back to humanity. This is a decentralized network. We have to realize that the Keshe technology is not acceptable in the current arena. I think we saw that in Italy, where he cleaned up the water pollution of the Teflon successfully, inexpensively, and then, of course, the report was banned or classified. We saw it in Fukushima, cleaning up the radioactive spill materials and the rest of this very inexpensively. But again, the Keshe Foundation was bumped out because of the fact that it was too inexpensive, and other companies like TEPCO had billion-dollar contracts in cleaning this up. So the Keshe Foundation, it's almost like putting a Volkswagen against a dragster. It outperforms in every area. So we need to set up an internal network at first to the Keshe Foundation. We're calling it a decentralized network. It'll initially be used by the knowledge seekers and the others, and eventually humanity will join in this process. So in a way, it's a platform to stage this technology without it being interfered with. And of course, there's ID cards, and there's cryptocurrency, and there's stock market companies, and there's many, many other things. So this is actually what we're here for. We don't have to understand the technology, as the Keshe Foundation in the background is doing all the detailed work about delivering the technology and ways to embed it into our current structure. So we're just setting the stage, and you're part of it. We're all part of it for future generations. And this is just the beginning, as he said in this recent teaching. He's laying, in a way, a plan or groundwork for the next 5 or 10 or more years in the future. So we're humbled and privileged to be here. I don't think we realize the extent of what we're involved in. I know the technology is over our heads, but he's not asking us to develop the technology, just to support the system. And this is the way we'll change this planet, or humanity's future, as I see it at this point. So thank you all again for being here, being part of the change. Again, don't think it's a coincidence that you're here. Your souls have brought you here to do perhaps a bigger work. Again, we're just the early pioneers. We've become slightly enlightened, perhaps, to some of this knowledge and the way it's working and the workings of the universe, but we're just the early pioneers, and the others will join very shortly, but we need to set up the network to do that. And so we thank you again. And if anyone wants to add anything, Shweta or anyone else, if Dean came in, we thank you.
Thank you, my dear Mark. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. I just there is a song in India we sing that this is the time now. हम तुम न बदलेंगे, बदले जग सारा. वादा रहा है, हमारा तुम्हारा. We will not change now forever, as we are lovers now in the path of peace. We will never change again, as the Maya changes their colors, as the illusion changes the colors. The seasons, all, it changes everything. But now we will not change again, and we will be like this forever. And this is a promise to soul, to the another soul. Thank you, Mark, my dear. Thank you. In this path of peace with Keshe Foundation, the beauty and totality. Thank you. Thank you so, so much.
Okay, thank you, Mark and Shweta. We have excerpt from the 604th Knowledge Seekers Workshop from last Thursday. It'll be about 2 minutes. It's on the collective images of the souls. So let me get that up here. And this is at the 3 hour and 9 minute mark.
This is how you lot look today. You're very Christian. We're on the cross, very balanced. This is the last picture we're going to finish with. This is the energy from above. This is your physicality. And this is your soul of physicality. And this is the cross. Means you all have plenty of food and energy and manifestation. This is the image within the past few minutes. So you see, very balanced, it's very beautiful. It's just more or less the same. Means you lot like honey, orange, and lavender. It satisfies all your emotions. Here, this is the above energy, what you call the soul. This is there, and this is the environmental interaction between the energies and what it gives them. I wonder what you lot will report after today's session.
And that's our short excerpt from the 604th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And go back to our program here. And next we have the wishes. And I'll remind folks that we'll have a full minute of silence after each wish is verbalized here. So we begin, I think, with Mehran.
Yes, hello, it's Mehran. You see support for Farsi language. So we, the Universal Council, give from our souls to elevate the soul of all beings on earth for peace and justice. This is our wish, and our wish is our command.
We, the Universal Council, wish for financial support. All work for the Keshe Foundation and Mark Ray Corp to be distributed accordingly as one planet, one nation, one race.
We, the Universal Council, give through our soul to elevate all souls. Uh, yes, we, the Universal Council, give through our soul to elevate all souls to get integrated with the universal community as one. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders to achieve the permanent and lasting peace.
We,
Next, we have the connection between souls with either Elizabeth or Marinez.
no alone. When you think and soul, Mr. Keshe taught us and teaching us, and you remember that said, I love you, my soul. I live you and I love with you and I adore you. Time for unifying the soul of the physicality. It's a soul of the man, like one for elevate, for expand and unify to the other. You give more lovely time for the both souls, the spirit and soul of the man. And that moment you unify to the others and give more extremely love, more extremely feeling to your soul. And continue to expand your soul in you direct your point of view and you wish in that moment. Only one wish at that time. Continue soul connection and my own language. Cuando pensemos en nuestra alma, le decimos, te amo, yo te amo, yo amo contigo, yo vivo contigo. Y le agregaría, amo y vivo a través de ti y te adoro. Y quiero que pensemos en nuestra alma, sintamos el amor más profundo, el más hermoso que podamos sentir, porque es el momento en que nuestro espíritu, que es el alma de la fisicalidad, se une con esa emoción, con el alma del hombre. El alma del hombre, con ser la energía más fuerte, cubre con amor el alma de la fisicalidad para ser elevada, para ser una. Luego se expande para conectar, focalizar un deseo específico. Cada vez expandimos nuestra alma para abrazar ese deseo. En este momento, nuestro deseo más grande es elevar el alma de cada líder que influencie cada comunidad para que su mensaje esté cargado del amor del Creador del universo, esté cargado de todas aquellas cosas que crean la paz, que es vivir bajo la ética del Creador. Y así, uno a uno, expandimos nuestra alma, damos de nuestra alma como alma de la paz, unida a todas las almas que están a nuestro alrededor, para que el alma de estos líderes sea elevada. Por lo tanto, su mensaje se elevará y llegará a todos sus seguidores, elevando también esas almas como parte de esta alma de la paz. Nuestro deseo es nuestro orden. unidos como una sola alma, todos los líderes, con su comportamiento correcto, pensar, hablar, hacer el bien, viviendo bajo esta ética del Creador, y unidos con el alma de todos los seres como alma de la paz, estamos elevando el alma del planeta para ser parte de la comunidad universal. Somos el alma de la paz y retornamos nuevamente a continuar con nuestra vida cotidiana. We back slowly and focused all time to elevate the soul of the leaders, to elevate to all souls around us, because we are the soul of the peace. Thank you. Go to next. Thank you, Rick. Next, please. The Universal Council invite the Keshe family and the Universal family and unify at the soul level every time and every day at 9 p.m. Central East Time to elevate the soul of the leader to achieve the permanent and lasting peace. Because we are the soul of the peace. Because it's time to elevate all souls. It's time to elevate the soul of the earth. It's time to be part of the universal community. We invite you all time, please, focus it and unify the soul. Focus it in the peace, only the peace. Because when you live and your behavior is according to the ethos, the mitra, ethos, the method, think good, speak good and act good, you behave is much better time for the peace. You're visible to the others. Others follow you across the earth and across the universe. Thank you. You continue, Mark or Bernard? Thank you.
No, just our true nature is non-physical. Obviously, the energy came before the matter state appeared, and I'm sure it'll exist longer. But this is what we're exploring as part of this One Planet Nation group, the energy dimension. I remember Mr. Keshe saying we're opening up the mystery of the matter state of the entity, our physicality, our solar physicality, to its energies. And of course, this is the way the change is brought. Working through the physicality, which we've all tried perhaps, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of energy. But working on the energy side of elevating the world leaders and others doesn't take a lot of work and it doesn't take a lot of energy. So we're trying to raise the collective awareness of mankind to bring the change through this dimension, and also to open up your own understanding of your true nature and who you are in the universe. So we invite you all to participate. If you don't have the strength, find something to serve, not something that serves you. This will build up the strength. But again, we heard Mr. Keshe say, the more you give, the more you receive. So think about it, start off slowly and keep it in the back of your mind. that these leaders need help, and it's our responsibility, since we have this understanding, to elevate the souls. Remember, the stronger feeds the weaker, and of course you get the confirmation of your existence back in a way, and more added to it. So we invite you to bring the change this way rather than through the matter state of the affair. And we have the mother connection through the soul of the creator, and we can bring it that way by creating those emotions of peace and love and just spreading them resistance back in a way, and on the energy level. Okay, very good. Thank you.
I would like to add that why do we always start with peace? Why do we elevate the leaders to choose peace over wars? Because Mr. Keshe said we need peace before completely opening up the knowledge equally for every human being on the earth. And of course, later on, this benefits the animals and plants and everything. So that's why we always say we elevate the souls that for the peace, for faster achieving the knowledge and application of knowledge in a vast and equal way, because this time the knowledge should be for everybody. It has been here on earth before, but each time it was given to some category of people, some elites, politics or religion. But this time, the way not to abuse this knowledge and not to keep it from others is that everybody with internet connections, with media, instantaneously get the fruits of this knowledge and a space all together. So that's why we do so much effort for peace, because we are eager to get the fruits of this knowledge as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, before we do the invitation here, we have an invitation to play from the 576 Knowledge Seekers Workshop on how to become a Universal Council member. And I will play that now.
There's something which I should have made an announcement. As we are structuring and in a new development of the Keshe Foundation, is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60, and they served during the 60 years they are there till 61. They to run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of any languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply for to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of true structure of the nationality, understanding the culture that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation or send the email to info@keshe.foundation. Say, I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we're going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear Rick. I also want to say that we are here to serve, not to be served, dear beautiful souls. And this is our purpose of a being we are. So joining the Keshe Foundation as a Universal Council member and Universal Council support member, as we are all universal soul, dear beautiful souls, make the service more clear that all beings will understand how to live in peace, how to share love each other, how to be together as one, because this is the time now. So welcome beautiful souls from all over the planet. There is no boundaries now. We are all together. Welcome, welcome to the Keshe Foundation. Join as universal souls. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute.
And just to add, if you're over 60 years old, you can, I know the limit is 60 for the Universal Council, I guess, until they serve till they're 61. But if you're over 60, and there's one Universal Council member per country, as I understand it. But if you're over 60, you can be a Universal Council supporter, and you can have as many of those from each country as the souls lead. So don't feel that the age is a restriction to becoming part of the Universal Council or the Universal Council supporters.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, my dear Mark. Thank you so, so much. Thank you.
Okay, next we have a video from the 600th Knowledge Seekers Workshop about the universal teachers. Let me get that teed up here. And here we go. It'll be about 10 minutes.
Mr. Keshe, sorry, Mr. Keshe, what you just said there. So one thing I realized some time ago was I've had conditions in my body. I know that if I'd have fed them emotion, they would have grown into all sorts of things, conditions. And I learnt through the foundation and through your teachings not to feed the emotion into it. So I changed. So the condition became more dormant. It stopped in its tracks. It didn't grow more. So I wish that others could understand the emotion of what you speak about. That if they can stop feeding, the brain with an emotional problematic, condition of thinking, worrying, instead of feeling joy and happiness and love for each and every moment, that how they can completely change, their structure. And that's why these systems and all that you're testing and showing, they're physical and they're so beautiful. But the soul aspect is so powerful when you should actually really understand, the essence of the soul. You can, you give from your soul to another soul, and you can really change. And I know I felt this with all the knowledge seekers, all the the Universal Council, and with yourself and many of the beautiful people that are around the foundation. You sense it, you feel it, and once you have this knowledge, you can you try to share it with the others, but they've not had the teachings, and so it's like trying to talk a little bit to a brick wall where it doesn't understand because it just hasn't had the in-depth knowledge, and it's getting that knowledge through. And I suppose the only way to do that on one aspect is to share it on a soul level. I think that's the beauty of it.
I'm going to share with you something very, honestly, it's not just with you alone. Something which has happened very, very recently. And recent, you have to understand the time with this position at the time, you call it the time of the man. This doesn't happen in the level of physicality, it happens in soul, in the level of energy, or what they call the soul of the creation. The way you have the Universal Council, the way you have Earth Council, the Universal Teachers gather together as Universal Teachers Council. Very few. And this touched me when I felt it's not the word of the man you hear. One of the council members, or souls, said you took your time with man, but now you're getting them where you wanted. And with it, our souls get enlightened. But couldn't you do it a bit faster? I said, man is a slow animal. It's worse than, the slowest creatures we know. But at least this time we do it correctly. We don't need to come back and correct it again. It's taking time, being patient is not a virtue, is a necessity with the human race. And it's not touching the souls. It's limiting the souls without the souls knowing it's touched. Man has a habit of resisting change or accepting the anything for the love of its life, whatever reason. And we do it this way. And it's taken a long time. And I remember waking up in a way, coming back to the dimension of physicality of the man, and I thought, now something has been achieved when your what you call peers, people who you work with in different dimensions, who understand, appreciate the work, understand the work. Because I, in a way, as a memory of man, hear that your work has even benefited us, the souls which are connected to us, because you teach right across the universe. And in a way, we feel a change. Because as much as we have to prepare man to go out in the space, we have to prepare outside to put the animosities, and not animosities, the distance they created for the human race because of its behavior. That these creatures have tamed, they brought themselves to follow, not that we brought them as a herd, they have to follow. And this is the beauty of what we see. These skirmishes we see between religions, it's just because they know the time has come. The end has come for the old, and you see it when the Jews bomb a Christian church directly, blow it up to a smithereen, killing some people in it, as they do with the mosques, and then they claim everything else. And then you can see where the end sits. Not very far. Not very far. Because they become so big that their own big-headedness brings their own downfall. What happened in the past few days, it's brought a lot of changes. It does not matter what the world leaders play. And the script is already written. If you remember, go back on the teachings a few months ago, I said that the naval force of the United States are there to capture the Israelis trying to escape. And they closed the borders, the only even can escape to it. The only people coming out of Israel are Mossad agents and those who are supposed to do some more killing. foreign people can know. And very interesting report, which Israelis don't want you to know. A lot of Jews in Israel are paying the Palestinians to get them out of Israel. Through Gaza, through West Bank. Jews are paying the Palestinians to get them out of Israel because they close the door of the gate. Because they have the tunnels, they know how to get out, they know how to come and go. And many people who built a good relationship, not just for the money, they're the people who help the Palestinians, now are virtually paying with everything they have for the Palestinians through the tunnels and through their ways to get them out of Gaza to freedom. Many of these people coming out, they're just getting very fast. If you live in Europe, you see a lot of young people has been swept through these tunnels, through these lines, through Palestinians. Even though the Jews are killing them, these are the ones, they live together, these are the old Jewish family connected to the Palestinians, are appearing in cities like Vienna, they're appearing in France, and they're shipping them out through their channels. The way Libyans and the rest came, now we see a large number of Jewish people appearing through help of the Palestinians, those who are real Jews and they really build the thing. And the funniest thing is, they don't become captured. They don't become prisoners. They don't become commodity. And the whole of the Palestinian group helps them to escape from the country which they created so much mayhem for them. And this is the beauty of it. In the recent past, I've seen a few, and even they fly out to arrange for these to come out. They're moving their brothers, the sisters, the mothers through the love and the connection they built with the Palestinians. And a strange thing is, none of them become prisoners. They go and capture the Israeli soldiers, but they make tunnels, they make arrangements. No money transferred. Palestinians refuse to accept money to transfer these Jewish people out of Palestine. They pay for it with love and with care. And we see it. And in the past few weeks, we see more and more Israeli refugees across Europe than anywhere else. But we used to see the Palestinians, we used to see the Lebanese and Libyans and the rest. That's part of the enlightenment. This shows the true side of each work. As one of the Jewish guys was saying to me, I'm just waiting for them to move me. And I wrote him, have you been moved yet? He said, I'm on the move. No money exchange. And they kill them with bombs, and they give them clear passage to those who serve them. So help with their brothers, they live for centuries with each other, they know them. And now I say there's still a light left at the end of the tunnel for humanity.
Okay, it's that excerpt from the 600th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And let me see, next we have a excerpt from the 604th Knowledge Seekers Workshop about the new system and the Keshe coin. Play that now.
Hello. We are the Keshe Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. keshefoundation.org/donate.
Okay, we're back again at the 604th Knowledge Seekers Workshop and ready to begin the second part. And but before we begin with questions, we have comments from Mr. Keshe. I'm sure he's got some updates and things he'd like to say before we begin. So please go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
As usual. Yes, thank you very much. We emphasize on increasing the number of the units, universal communication units we put out, that we can secure that no nation, no government, no person can dictate the position and think they're in position of dictating the future of humanity. In a way, every nation, every culture has an equal say. It has to come from knowledge seekers that it goes back to humanity. And as I said, we only respect things when we pay for it, unfortunately, in the race of the man. And secondly, we have put all resources into bringing these things one step at a time forward. We still have a long way to go, even though many of you working very hard on you purchase many to be given to the others and some you put yourself. We still need a large number of these to be spread. We have not reached the target we are looking for, and we need to. And as I said, there was some misunderstanding with the knowledge seekers. These units will start going out somewhere in September, October, in the batches of like 200, 250, because the 2 parts, 3 parts has to come together to be there. And then as we perfect the system, or if there's any glitches anywhere, in a large numbers after October, November, we'll start sending out where we sort out if there's any problem, when it needs anything with that mass. As many of you have supported us, you can even tell us what to do. We received a number of the knowledge seekers has bought 1 or 2 for themselves, and they're given 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 to be given to the other knowledge seekers. We receive requests from knowledge seekers, can we have 1 of them? We have units which are investment units, which means the person who's bought it wants to collect the coins as an income for the future. So the system is on you to run, has no return. We have donations which will be given to universities, and the income from it will generate funds for the university for research and development, not wages for what we call professors. Then we have those who want to be given to other knowledge seekers. That is the discretion of the Keshe Foundation. We have to explain to you, once you receive these parts, you're part of the structure of the Keshe Foundation. Every system comes with a card which identifies you. And every system in the background remotely controlled by the monitors, by the people who run the thing to understand everything is correct. We look at it this way. The data is secure, safe, but everyone has the data. So I don't need to steal the data to give something because I have access to the email, or I have access to the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation, or the list of the knowledge seekers on it, because everybody has access to everything according to their need and time. We see this as a bigger structure plan for identifying man in 100, 200, 1,000 years from now. Because then it collects, it converts into what I call universal system. In the next few months, we hope to start the process of what we call non-physical plasma memory chips, memory banks, which is enough to put all the knowledge of the man in one block. Collected through the system feeds to a master point created through the structure of the brain of the man, very much similar, and development of the further structure of it. I explained to you as before, I explain again if you haven't understood. In Keshe Foundation, in one of our research centers, we have managed to create continuously pico and below pico material. As I said before, today's microchips works on 3 nano. We have gone 10 to the minus of 6 below nano, which at this point it's a dynamic structure like the brain of the man. We can produce this material continuously. We developed it perfected the art. And in this process, it allows us to create chips without connection, create memory bank without any wiring the way the brain of the man is. We have broken into the knowledge of the creation of the brain of the man, or memory system control system. Rapid evolution, future assessment and reaction, and data protection of the data you need to know. There are no switches on and off. It's all done with the emotion. The present system we see, AI system control, they are just a child plays in what to come in the coming years. You will understand if 3 nano chip can create such a creature, what would 10 to the minus 6 of this nano will create in response. All this needs research, development, needs time, and secondly, needs for man to understand. We carry on with this process. We will develop this process as we go along and as we expand the knowledge. And so we try to open your eyes, not to follow blindly, understand what you do will change, will bring the change. We brought the new equipments past 2 or 3 years to test to get to what we do, what we have. And now is next step of the development, and we need a lot of support. We need mass support into developing this technology into its next step, not just by knowledge seekers, but by scientists from around the world, which will initiate very soon in a different dimension and direction. Hopefully, if we receive enough support that we can cover the 2000 by early 2026, will be managed to start the process faster in changing a lot of things in even the structure of government. I'll explain before, I explain more. As we test the process of the cash coins, and we encourage you to take these units up, we will explain to you a lot of other things that will come with it, which becomes part of the structure of the governing through the emotion and the soul of the man, and governing the physicality of the man with borders. Collectively moving in that direction, not structured and decided by Illuminatis or governments or whatever.
And then it's in the hand of all of us that everyone knows. If you're in cryptocurrency, you understand exactly what it means, but we bring crypto emotion, which means every transaction is recorded. You can trace it back. You can trace back who started, where we can change, and who is doing what in the energy level that we can change. In a way, we use part of the technology of the cryptocurrency in bringing, with the new technologies, the same dimension to the knowledge of the man. Everybody has access to all the knowledge. Everybody has access to all the energies. And then you see the change. Maybe 3 to 5 years, we'll see the beginning, physical changes, but the whole process has started. Those of you who are on the screen, you'll see the honey guy is back again. He's got this pot on the table, and we can see it on the screen. You've been fed again with honey in the past half an hour. What did you feel? How did you feel about honey in the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Has your eating habit has changed? Because honey is the essence of many nourishments, covers the spectrum of. Has anything changed in your eating habit? Have you changed emotion? Has anybody told you changed? And then look what vitamin C change brings about in your physical condition, and what does honey bring when you eat the honey, whatever. Has anything changed in that side? Do you sleep better? Look at the effects of honey, lavender, and what you had as orange juice in what we call vitamin C, which is one of the best antioxidants. Has anything changed? Then let us know. We're playing the same game with you today, and I hope you enjoy the honey pot.
Okay, it looks like I missed a video actually along the way. I think I should insert it here now about Mithra and children. And that was supposed to be after the universal teachers. And somehow I skipped over that and went directly to the other video. Okay, well, let's play that now. And this is an excerpt from the 604th Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and it'll be about 20 minutes. Here we go.
It's called Zootopia. It's for children, done by Disney, where there is this city that there is no crime. It's a structure of 2000. We change the emotion of humanity to walk away from wars. And that way we can keep it fed to become part of the essence of the life of the man. There's a movie. It brings a lot of sense in what man dreams about. If you get time, watch it. It's called Zootopia. It's for children, done by Disney, where there is this city that there is no crime. Everything is peaceful. And the little rabbit wants to become a police officer in the world of all the big animals. And this is the ultimate goal of the man. But if you understand what is set up, man is destined for that destination. Because you transfer the energy, the knowledge, the emotion, and the outcome. In a way, up to now, man was taught by the word of the prophet. Now man moves by the soul of the prophet. And that's a big difference. Man shall not make a mistake. There will be no imperfect child ever born on this planet. That's a promise I gave to my Creator, and I accept it. other question?
Thank you. Okay.
Fetus with the soul of a man. The baby in the womb of the mother.
Now that we have this knowledge, and I'm sure with knowledge will come in the future, scientists will develop a machine that the way we are doing, that's what you see, but more advanced system of this. Like when you go and they put ultrasonic on the belly of the mother and they say there is a baby inside you, this is the leg, this is the arm. In a very near future, this is something which I'm sure Keshe Foundation will promote for its research development very, very fast, because there's harder application is systems that measure, not measure, but confirm is the right word for it, when a fetus is a living single soul or a still collection of souls, when the life is complete and you cannot do. At the moment they say you're 5 weeks, 10 weeks, systems will develop the way we see now, which should be very easy to do, very like a sonographic. There we can see and say, this is the point, pinpoint accuracy that there is a soul. And this is a being. And we will in the future, most for the same time, we can create a system where we can see the children of Mitra as energy, as souls, but with no physicality. And then we say this is the children of Mitra. I show you if I can find within the archive where we can see a soul. In the future, the scientists will do this, develop systems, which what I show you will be done automatic. When we see a child is born out of physical love or out of the interaction in the soul of the two person, we will clearly have an indication of children of Mitra or those who are born as a physical dimension, and at the same time, if the fetus is one central soul or is still in number of fields, which means has not become a soul and has not become the soul of the man as a collective, but it's the soul of the cells. He has a soul of physicality, but doesn't have the soul of the what we call the emotion. Okay, now I share with you, you understand. Good. The first picture. This is more or less, if you look at the picture here, this part, we see the soul of physicality. There's not much physicality, not much soul. This is one of the sessions. Now we look at the other one. You see the soul of physicality is spreading, opening up. Then you see the soul of physicality.
Rick,
at this stage, fetus, if you call it, is not.
Rick, we're still seeing the honey portrayed. Is that the right background?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was just wondering. I think this is from the previous selection. I think you were busy sort of in the back.
Yeah, I had my microphone on too. I've been deleting stuff in the chat from our two guests that came in that I kicked out.
Thank you.
Okay, let me get back to sharing properly here.
Existing soul. This is still collection of the fields of the cells. You see partially here, if I call it some physical activities, creation of physicality. But more or less, this is what happens to the whole condition. Now you see very clearly, the soul of physicality has taken a shape and is creating a physical and connecting to the soul. And if you take this off, you see here, this position is becoming creation of the soul. And you've seen another one pictures, which is very bright here, if you remember last time. When this is created, life is sacrosanct. You cannot abort. Then when you have a picture like this, then society and doctors will make a decision, because life is not created yet. This is like the soul of Mitra. The soul is there, but has no dimension of what you call the conformation of the one single soul or one single physicality. Is there as a soul waiting to create. This is very, very much like a chain of Mitra. And then if you monitor step by step, you will see the creation of physicality and life. And then when you see the creation of the soul, life is complete. The existence of the soul is complete. And this is a physical being. That's simple. This is very important for us. It'll be one of the very advanced systems we try to do to see if the soul has left the machine. We don't transport the soul and the physicality left behind. And you need measurements on the scale of the universal cosmic rays. We'll be gathering knowledge gradually to be there.
So,
yeah.
Around what time, how many months for a human being this is done, the creation of the soul of the man?
Is it a bird or is it an elephant?
A human being.
The same. There is no fixed time and place. 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 5 weeks. All depends on the maturity of the mother and the womb. Why do we have premature children, but they're complete? Would changing the environment of the womb allows a child to be born in 9 weeks and 9 months? But time is a physicality of the man. How you collect that energy and transfer the knowledge, information, is another dimension. And we've seen this. We've seen this very clearly, because I was talking about the Inner Mongolia test. We achieved 20%, which is the highest ever done, independently confirmed by laboratories. But what we saw, the other part of the test, which was the natural growth they were doing, our harvest was early by about, I think, 2 weeks, if I remember correctly. It wasn't just that we increased the harvest, but we were ready. The seeds matured 2 weeks, I think, ahead of the other side of the field, which the test was done. The same seeds, 100 meter long. 1/3 was left to with the present they were doing, and this side was what we're doing with a gap of 30 meters in between. And we were 2 weeks faster. And this 2 week faster harvest, which the harvest was ready to harvest, created a mayhem for us. Because the animals are aware of when the harvest is ready, and the farmers were going crazy with us to test trial because they'd never seen so much bird. They were all eating. They were coming because the harvest was ready when nobody was picking, because the instruction was you harvest the same time. And even after the birds eating for 2 weeks at it, whatever, we still 2 or 3 times more harvest. Imagine what would have happened if the birds would have eaten. We are about 4 to 5 times more. Because we were getting calls from the agricultural center that what's going on, there's so much, they never seen so much better on the harvest, and it's damaging the harvest. And we said, okay, after the harvest, we still 2 or 3 times more. Imagine if the birds haven't eaten it. They didn't touch the ones which wasn't ready. They were eating from the harvest we completed. So going by the same principle, if we change the environment of the womb of the mother, would we need 9 months pregnancy, or we can complete in 9 weeks? The interesting, I put a spanner into the word, give you a thought. Would we be able to create test tube of solar meters than test tube from egg and sperm? And how those souls will come to be. This is not a theory. This is a reality which man will face in space when we fall with the field emotions of another creature, which physically touching can be demise for the other, but loving does not need touch. How do we grow the children of the law of the universe? Universal test tubes through the emotion without any physicality. This will come to man much, much faster than you think. And man has to find a solution for it, to understand it, and worst of all, to accept
it. Also, thank you. Fantastic. I have a question. The child of Mitra, what about their physicality? And do they need the womb of a mother to develop physicality?
their physicality is decided by their own soul.
Mm-hmm.
They decide in what dimension and how they want to be created. And because of that, they can mutate. We see that with some animals who have managed to do part of this, not but the wholly, but scientists have come up with all sorts of chemical things, but in fact it's the emotion which changes the color or the shape. And this is done by the soul itself. And they don't need a womb. A womb is, the womb of the mother is a dimension of physicality. The children of Mitra has the universe as a womb.
And the child of Mitra develops like human being from small to adults?
They decide.
Okay.
The children of Mitra are not just children of man, they're children of the universe. We see many, like the way we see black and white, Chinese and the black. We will see the children of man and many other creatures of the universe in the spaces become the passengers of. When we become the true citizens of the universe, we will see the same structure but in a larger scale.
Yeah. And they are multi-dimensional. They can mute
In a
from
way,
one.
yes. In a way, yes. I was talking to one of our knowledge seekers, and I hope she doesn't mind. She knows who she is. And she was talking about the names of the God and attributes of God and whatever. They say it's 99. I said, in Quran it says 99 names and attributes of the Creator. And when you understand all of it, it's 100. And I wrote, if you understand the essence of it, because this covers everything, dimension of physicality as much as the dimension of the soul, but the emotion it creates. It says, I've seen you naked and I've seen your clothes. I heard your pain and I heard your joy. I heard your love and I heard your passion. I heard your fears and I heard your confidence. Then if you add all these together, you find all wisdom of creation and all names of beauties of God within the mixture of these words. Needs no prophet, needs no message. It brings home to understand one's enlightenment of the truth about oneself. In a way, between the dimension of the physicality and the dimension of the emotion of the love, which is the beauty of the Creator, and the fears of the existence, we understand the dimension of the physicality and the dimension of the Creator and how His beauty is boundless. And then we understand the children of Mitra have no negative side to them. They have no fear because they cannot lose. They have no physicality, but they're clothed in the cloth of the man or wherever they manifest themselves. And it's the same, they're the best lovers, but they show their passion in devoting their life to the universal community than the man or a physical dimension of one sense of the other. And if you understand this, then we understand in a way we can be the creation and the creator without going through the dimension of physicality. Because when it comes to the dimension of the soul of the children of Mitra, which is the dimension of energy, when they fall in love with another energy, do they need to manifest themselves in the dimension of physicality to the limitations of it, or they enjoy the freedom of the universe? Citizenship will become very difficult unless you want to enjoy the physicality. I hope we answered you.
Okay, back to our program here. And let me see. Where are we? We should have, I think, the knowledge and understanding from the last workshop. Would that be correct?
this portion is, can I read this now?
Oh, okay, sure.
Oh, thank you, my dear. We invite you as you to connect with a member of the Universal Council, dear beautiful souls, to send ask your questions to be answered live each week and or the needs of your community. And welcome again and we all invite you to share as the Universal Council um, page, web page is updating in the newness, as we know. Uh, you are invited cordially to join the Telegram groups of languages, different languages of Keshe Foundation, to have your say as we are all learning, dear beautiful souls. We are all knowledge seekers, sharing each other views and advices and sharing your experiences with plasma science, with souls, of course, and anything you want to share. And this is an interaction, and you are so much welcome in all the language Telegram group. So thank you for joining us as one soul. We will try to understand all the levels as we are also in the level of learning and understanding. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute.
Sweta, shall I start with the knowledge understanding?
Yes, my dear. Of course, welcome.
Okay, perfect. So just in the meantime, if anyone's got any question to make to the Universal Council, they can think about it. Yes, I just want to say good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone. I don't know if you can hear me properly, Rick.
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah,
and
fantastic.
I'll be playing the background music as well.
Thank you. And I don't know if you received my video about rough ring that I sent you to you, because that one was very connected to the 604, I thought.
Yes, thank you.
I'm sure we're gonna talk about in the Reactor group. That will happen in tomorrow morning. Yes, so the 504 was again another very, very mind-blowing workshop. We have Mark as well, gonna help me out. I'm gonna talk about the first part that he really I thought was very, very important to understand. So the 404 was again a workshop where Mr. Keshe connect us to the machine, to the system, and the systems are connected. They make us connected with this cosmic ray. And I just remind you that he said that this cosmic ray is the first time humankind is being connected to speed up the enlightenment. So it was again another really good workshop. If you come to listen the workshop and you want to get the full benefit of the connection with the cosmic ray, remember to have a headphone with not wire. With wire, no wireless. You have to have wire. It is what is suggested, and you can. I found I can feel the fields through the computer, no problem. Through the phone, no problem. And also I can feel the fields live, and I can feel them also when I listen the recording. So if you didn't have time to see or the opportunity to hear the workshop live, I recommend you to listen later. At the moment, I'm trying to listen to the workshop. I used to listen every day, even before, but even now, I make an effort to listen to the workshop. And before going to bed, or as soon as I wake up, I put the volume lower, a minimum, and I listen before going to bed and as soon as I wake up. I find it very, very interesting and useful what I discovering. I'm having big changing actually in my life and even physically, my skin is very smooth. But let's go back to the workshop because it was super important. So Mr. Keshe it talk about this time, universal time. It started a little bit by talking about the insurance company. They are making money on the half time of the man in Earth. But he said that this will not be for long because with this system, the system he launched in his birthday, the one that he want to spread all over the Earth, where he said you knowledge seeker had got the responsibility to make sure that we found enough people to have this system all over the world so they can make this grid. And the system are definitely there to change the time. So what does it mean? It means that he explained very well in this workshop. He explained very well the half time that we have right now, where we all live in 70, 80, 90 year old, and then we will die. That it's a time referring to planet Earth, that it's connected to the rotation of Earth. But with these systems they launched, he's gonna set a new structure where we're gonna be connected to the universal time. So that means that we're not gonna die after 100 years, but we can change our half-life to 10,000 or 100,000 of years. So we can literally reach the semi-mortality or the immortality. That's why it's very, very important to understand the time and how we make time and what is the universal time. And this will give more importance to the work of Mr. Keshe and more importance to this machine and the importance that this machine, we have to find the funding to buy this machine and get them spread through all the planets, because it's our job, it's our responsibility, it's our planet, so no one's gonna do it except of us. So it's very interesting because it speak about the universal time, and as you know, he said that if you remember from the past teaching, you start to make time with place, position, and possession, and then you got also the intellect, enlightenment, and the emotion. So definitely, what trigger the combination of the two is also very important is the emotion. So we don't understand that we have to match the physical time with the energy time, and to be able to reach to the universal time. So the universal time is, for example, in the universe, it's all about connecting, and you connect with the other human beings by matching the times. So that's why it's important to understand how you make times. And he also saying that we're gonna be able to, if we understand how to connect your place, your position, your possession, your intellect, your enlightenment, and your emotion, and then you're creating the time of the life from, so you connected the physicality with the energy, and they match together, you starting the life. But he said that if now the soul can travel at the speed of light, so can travel instantly, and now the physicality takes ages. Now we're using the car, we're using the plane to travel. If we understand how to create time, the physicality can travel as fast as the soul. And it's not fairy tale, because for example, on the Rick in the last workshop in the Reactor group, if you go in the last week to watch his Reactor group of last Wednesday, he showed this man called Ralph Ring, and he's like a student of Carr was a student of Tesla, and he managed. I saw this new video where he managed to to create time so he could travel. He said he was very fed up. He was a very old man, so he was very fed up to travel 7 hours to go to Hawaii. He actually transmute there in a blink of a second. And then he took a story about how he actually also materialized stuff. So he needed some drinks he likes, and he knew how with his friend they both knew how to go into a shop and extend their hands and suddenly get the drinks they wanted to have. So this guy is done it, so it's not like something impossible. And he also said that he talked about all the stuff that Keshe teaching us, where we have to connect with the energy, we have to connect with the feelings, we have to learn how to shut down the energy, the brain that wants to, that wants us stay physical and not accepting the other side of the energy world. So it's very interesting videos. You can watch the interview, audio interview in Rick workshop last week, and you can trace it back in YouTube. But this guy is done it, and also his friend doing it. And he said it's really great to live in the life in that way, because you can have whatever you want. You actually create in your own life. You become the creators. This is what we want to do. So Mr. Keshe, it talks very well in this workshop, step by step, how to do it. And he said that it's very important for us to understand how to create time. And I'm gonna read like a very small piece that he said that I thought was very, very interesting. Because he's saying that to create time, what we have to understand, especially if we want to create the universal time, I'll go into it 1 second. We need to understand that we need to learn how to change the field strength. So he's saying if we learn how to change the field strength, sorry, I'm going to the point where he said it. Yeah. So he said, So he said that to understand the essence of time, we have to transfer the energy from one strength to another, no? And then he said, then you will define the energy as magnetic fields in motion, and this will set the universal clock. And once we set the universal clock, you will be able to define the position, the possession, and the strength. And if you understand this, how to change the strength of energy from one strength to another strength, this can make you go from A to B. So this can make you transmute. So it can make you to going from here to, from London to New York, if you know how to transfer the energy strength from so if you're able to change the environment he said change the environment and so the place and the position. And he said in this workshop they will teach us how to calculate this, how to calculate to be able to change, as I said, the environment and the place. And then he said, so to transmute usually, he said also this in the past workshop, where you go into zero time, and then you go into the dimension or to the place that you want to go. And then you go back again to zero time. So this is what we learn. We learn how to go back to zero time. In this video of this scientist called Ralph Ring, he called him to zero time, he called him to be present. You have to be present, he said, to be able to do this. It reminded me a knowledge seeker in Rick Ramon's workshop. He said the same things. He thinks zero time was being present, and switch the mind and just open your heart and be connected with your emotion. That's why also Mr. Keshe said the first step to create time, it's by using your emotion. That's why the emotion are very important to be able to recreate them. And for example, this man that done this literally done it transmutation, and even as the resurrection, I think, because they tried to kill him, and from completely dying, he managed to restore his body and change time and come back completely cured, you know. And so he's done this as well, come back in a new body. So it's not fiction. It's actually, if he done it, everyone can do it. Yeah, so I lost my point now. Yes, so yeah, but anyway, so the fact is that I lost my point, so I kind of finish now. But my point is, it was please going to listen. The 604. The fourth part also for me was really mind blowing. Because it really going to details about how to create universal time. And then also he said, if we manage to recreate the universal time, we're gonna be able to no need to kill anyone to survive, because you will be connected straight with the source. And therefore you will be able to always get fed and regenerating yourself. So you don't need any more to another life to be able to survive. Yes, so he said that very shortly he will deliver a universal unit where a group of people will be monitored by using this universal unit, and he will be able to give you everything you need to survive. So he will monitor these people and check the differences in emotion. Also, he talking about the transmutation session that will happen the 29th of August, where he said that he will, to the group that will be present, he will immerse in this love. He will make him fall in love with everything. So he ask you to come with a picture or belonging or someone you really love. And he said, please make sure it's not a table or a plant, someone, because he will teach you something what you can do with this love and with this person. So I can wait. I think I'm very jealous for anyone who will be present to this session. But whoever will be present, it will have the chance, one, to support the foundation, because in this transition, they need funding to be independent and to develop more the system to make it better as the time goes past. And two, you will be able to have help by the system to progress faster. So maybe you will be the person who will then bring all humanity forward, because if you understand your speech, if you understand your if you understand what we're learning, then you will be able to teach to all the others, and we progress so fast. So if you go into this session, I enjoy. And I found this session really connected again with this man who said, he also said, because the guy who interviewed him, he asked him, so how can we simply start this process of be able to transmute and move from one place to another or materialize stuff? And Ralph Rings, he said, the very simplest way to be is to be present and open your heart and really work on replicate the unconditional love, because he said that the unconditional love is an energy field. It's very, very strong. And then once you replicate this unconditional love, like the love, for example, that the creation has, the true unconditional love, then apparently this will trigger things in your own body where you will be able to open up your like a third eye, if you want to say, and you will be able to see things, life in a different way. You will be able to switch your thinking. You will be able to feel more, and the moment you feel more and you can control your emotion, then you will be able to create your own life the way you want it to. And he actually is saying that the people around him, once is in tune to these energy fields, he can see visually the environment around him changing, little bit like when we are in transmutation session. And he's saying that the people around him changing, everything around him change. And he just have this, and he can create whatever he wants. So he said it's really a lot of fun. So it's really recommended. And we have the opportunity every Thursday for who doesn't have financial possibility to do the monthly transmutation. Every Thursday you have for free the possibility of be connected with the system, and the system will help you to open up to this energy world and be more in tune with the energy fields and to create your own time. So, and to get the intellect higher and to get enlightened faster. So no excuses, because I had one guy in the Italian knowledge seeker when we make the Italian teaching. He said, "Yeah, but I think the transmutation session are quite, they cost quite a bit." And I said to him, "Look, if you come on Thursday, you got no excuses. It's free. And then if you cannot make Thursday, you can still feel the record, hear the recorded, and the recording are starting from the 598. So literally, we got no excuses to enlighten faster. So I highly recommend you. So the second part, it talk about the cash coin and how all the structure with this new system and computer system are working. I really recommend you to listen. You will listen the recording before. I don't know if Mark want to add anything else. There are very good, interesting questions on the second part. I recommend you to go on and listen. And at the very, very last, at the very end, he will show the picture of us connected to the machine, and it will show how we are collectively, and how he said we're really balanced. So he was very happy with us. And another thing, so one thing that this man also kept saying in his interview, he kept saying that we really have to think as one. If you think that we are all one and there is no separation between you and me and everybody else, that is the way to be able to transmute. Because if you think that you are one, there is no separation with anything, of course it can be to New York if you wanted to in a blink of a second, because you're already there, So of course you can materialize what you want because you already have it. So it's really a different mindset that you have to introduce and get used to. And once become a second nature, they will become very easy to transmute. So this is what I'm practicing myself too. So thank you so much for listening my summary. I don't know if Mark want to add anything or anyone want to add anything.
Are you saying there's magic hidden in these workshops or technology?
Yeah, I mean, magic when we don't understand the process, but the good things about Mr. Keshe is that you can, for example, listen a video like the one of Ralph Ring, that is well-known scientist, and it's come from the teaching of Tesla. So that one it's watertight as like being how you say trusted, and then as a source, and then you can listen Mr. Keshe workshop that Mr. Keshe really can tell you step by step how to do it. So you go a little bit with theory and someone already done it for who doesn't believe it. So
So we can be a free guinea pig, or we can pay to be a guinea pig, or we can be both, can't we?
or you can be a elephant as well.
He said today's experiment, when he was mentioning about the 604, he said today's experiment is setting, and we're all part of it, is setting the stage for the future generations of feeding and changing the emotions. So, and it was a little clear for me about the radiation or the X-rays, what he was talking about when he said, you know, they're using the ray interacting with another ray to create X-rays or cosmic ray radiation. And he said X-rays in the matter state are harmful, but X-rays in the cosmic ray radiation are pleasurable. He said it's a source of food. It's a source of energy for you. And it's probably a source of travel and a source of wellness. How this is being done, I don't understand, but I'm starting to understand the process of how it's going to be delivered. Again, he said to advance mankind, we need to go to a more of a nuclear-based science with nuclear materials, nuclear radiation, cosmic rays, cosmic ray radiation, and combinations of these will cause the transmutation, as you were saying. How it's done and how it's being delivered is beyond me, but I'm just being asked to support the structure at this point. And as he said, gift it back to humanity. Beautiful summary, Stefania. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I highly recommend to watch the also Rick workshop of last Wednesday, where it talk about Ralph Ring, because as I said, this guy done it. So it's not up in the air what we're teaching.
I'm hoping Rick will play Love Potion number 9 in the Reactor group. I don't know if he'll be allowed to do that, but maybe we can just look at the words where Mr. Keshe says this is one of the most dangerous things and they've tested it, but we start to fall in love with everything and everyone. So he may be playing with that in the back of the lab, which will bring a beautiful change. This is part of the upgrade of humanity in one go. And of course, as he said, there's other entities on their way here to amaze us as well, and a number of other things that are going on in the background. So it's a beautiful time for humanity, and we're glad we're part of it and can help deliver it for the future.
Okay, thank you, Mark. We'll try to cover those topics, both Ralph Ring and Love Potion number 9 in the plasma reactor group.
Yeah, I send you the link on WhatsApp. I don't know if you've seen it on Telegram, and you can play this tomorrow. The beats after half an hour. It took about we view last Wednesday. We saw the first part where he talked about his life, and I found the video of that audio that we heard, and then I played another YouTube video where he after half an hour talking about his life and how he's connected to Tesla and the car, then he started to talk about his transmutation experience. He talked about how he materialized stuff. He talked about how he was being poisoned and he was considered like a dead man, and he regenerated himself and come back like a new man. He talk about all the stuff that Mr. Keshe teaching. He talk about how love is important, fall in love with everything. So the transmutation you do on Friday, it's connected to also what Ralph Ring said, that you have to fall in love with everything. That is the beginning of the process. So if you can do that, it's already a good start.
Great. Thank you, Stefania. It's interesting that Nikola Tesla claimed that he was the discoverer of cosmic rays long before anybody else did.
Right, and I just to clarify what I said, the X-rays from the nuclear matter state is harmful. I think he said the magnetic field is the pleasurable X-ray coming from magnetic fields. This is pleasurable, and this is a source of energy and food and many other things, I'm sure.
Yeah, put the link on the chat for the videos for people if they want to watch it as well, so they come prepared tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, perhaps we should move on to our next position. Which is, let me get things lined up here. Where are we? Is it transmutation time, perhaps? Let's have a look at our lineup.
Rick, I just saw something in the Q&A from Ike. He said the chat is now disabled. Is that correct?
I disabled it because of interruptions from our guests that were coming in, but I can open it back up again. I think it's relatively safe again. There we go. Comment away, Ike.
Okay. So we are once again at the transmutation time, which is not a time. So it's an interesting thing because we have more ways to move around this time.
Should it be called transmutation without time?
Well, we just have to be conscious about the time with or without. Well, how we navigate it is something that we are learning. So, in a way, your statement that you just said, without time, it's not so much without time, it's detachment from time. Now we are attached to these time as we experience in a linear way in physicality. But once we detach from the constraint or the bounds of time, we can navigate the time. So your statement is correct. Without time, yes. But we add some more practical things we can do to get to this position where we are detached from time so that we can navigate time. So, in a way, which brings us to the position is that, detachment, in a way, is an emotional state. When we are attached to something, it's like kind of like going to a guru, you're attached to the guru. So, if we make time our guru, we can't live without the guru. Kind of like that kind of situation. I mean, being somebody from the land of the gurus, I'm just using this analogy, but it's attachment that we have to take note of. Attachment brings with us an emotional baggage that we have to put down. So this is the main aspect that that we have to think about. The time. We have this transmutation as a title, and time is put in one corner of this slide. It's for a reason, because time is not like a central thing. It's kind of like on the side. We just we have to be aware of it to navigate, but it is not our main thing. So coming back to the emotion that we are talking about, the detachment. And this is something that we have to get in terms with, because it's so much part of our existence here on this planet, in this form, is that it's very hard for us to think in terms of not navigating, this time. One of the things is that, for example, things in our physicality that we assume would slowly degenerate over time. But here we are once again attached to the time. So if we are to revert a certain condition in our physicality, let's say to a different time or an earlier time, then this detachment from time is necessary. Because if we are attached to the idea that things would degenerate, well, we are paying our good old time guru to, homage to the good old time. We can't do that. It serves its purpose for certain things, but there is other things we can do once we are not attached to it. So one of the things is change things physically. Our physicality is no longer dictated by the term we call time. Changing what you call the skin. Stefania is already doing it. Her skin is changing. So you can see that there are examples of it, that people are able to create some change. And there are many examples mentioned by various knowledge seekers at various places, hair color being one, which has also been achieved through GANSs, GANS water spray and things like that. I know somebody who teach here who has done it. He actually he was living in a different time, in a sense that he's a very young guy, but his hair was turning white. So he applied the GANS technique. But what can be done with GANS can be done in other ways. As we know that, dipping the seed in GANS, we can go back in the evolutionary scale for grass, like wheat, for example, that the experiment that was done in quite some time ago, about 2007, 8, somewhere there. So we know that it's possible to do these kind of things from GANS technology, but that's our earliest stage of kind of deconditioning and understanding plasma science, of how to navigate beyond our customary view of things. So this attachment, once it actually comes up very easily when we try to do the experiments of like changing certain part of the body, which is related to, let's say, aging. Then you see that there is a resistance that comes from the physicality. So how do we get around this? How do we create the detachment? So one of the hints that was given to us, and it has been present on this planet for a long time, which is the 99 attributes of God. It's used in some of the, it's mentioned in the Islamic context, but it's used in some of the, sort of like schools where they teach advanced things in terms of meditation and stuff. So, and they use these names, or they repeat the various names of God, and you can see similar things in the Indian system where you repeat certain mantras or certain short phrases which and dwell on the meaning of it and things like that. So earlier incarnation of this technology are these kind of repetition techniques. But now that we know a little more, we don't have to go through some of these time-consuming physical processes like repeating things. So the effect these kind of processes create is it has an effect on our emotion, the emotion at the physical level and the emotion at the soul level. So now that we understand these things, we can move to a more advanced position. Hey, Rick, is there another slide with a sort of like some writing on it? It's kind of like it after this one, because we talked about it in the class. If it's not, I'll just verbally say it. After this slide.
I don't see anything else there. It's
Okay, I'll say it verbally, but so it's okay. We don't have to have the text here. So let me bring. So this text was, it was mentioned, the 99 names of God embodies, when we repeat them, and as I said, when we repeat them and when we focus on them, repetition is such a process of focusing on them. And so once we do this focusing on them, certain emotion is generated, both at the physical level and as the soul level. So, and this can be, we can use this emotion to create some of the detachments from physicality, as well as awareness of emotions at the soul level. So it's a dual approach. We're not just, we're using a large spectrum of the field, both at the physicality level as well as the soul level. So so Mr. Keshe mentioned a phrase, a number of lines of things, and these it's kind of like a poem almost. And once you read through it, it embodies all possible emotion that are within these 99 names. So this is a much more compact or advanced way of looking at this. So I'll read through it, and then we will go a little bit deeper into it. So this is how it goes. I have seen you naked, and I have seen you clothed. I heard your pain, and I heard your joy. I heard your love, and I heard your passion. I heard your fears, and I heard your confidence. So this in a way encapsulates those emotions that provoked or invoked as well from the 99 names. So, and these emotions are both at the level of physicality and at the level of soul. The only difference here is that the pain and the fears, the two things that is mentioned in these, appear only on the physical side. It doesn't happen on the soul side. And in a way, it's not that these are bad things. These are things that we are used to, pain and fear. But it gives us a sort of like a, so if we are not aware of the ranges of emotion that we experience, like a blind man, let's say, we are not that aware of, some of us, we're getting better at it, obviously. So when we are unable to see and we put our hand across, let's say, the surface, which has different characteristics on two sides, and we move our hand and we feel a certain ridge at certain point, which is we are moving into a certain different texture. This is for somebody who is not aware of the whole surface. So pain and fears are when we move into pain and fears, that's when we are moving to physicality. So this is something useful actually for us when we navigate our emotional landscape. And so this particular phrase is very nice, and perhaps we will put it up and next time in our meeting and talk a little more about it. But this phrase, and you can review it back to the point where I said it, or in Mr. Keshe's presentation. I think Mark said it. It's 2012. 2 hour and 2:12 Mark in 604 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. So that I remember he said it. So there you can get it, and in his voice. And so what this set of phrase carry is the complete set of emotion that one needs to experience the range of fields. And by applying different aspects of this emotion, you can navigate this space. This is a way of navigating the fields. So you can adjust one or the other, and then you go somewhere. So this is a very useful, practical way of holding a large set of information in a very compact space, in a sense, in physicality, if you can say, if we can call it that. So I hope it helps everybody, those who are listening, to conduct their own experiments with time, and then then transmutation we can move further in our transmutation experimentation, and it's a very useful way of doing things. And one of the things that comes into play is that we'll also look into a little bit into the, what do you call it, when we listen to these, let's say this meeting or the Knowledge Seekers Workshop, we hear the words, but sometimes in these words carry certain intention, certain energy field behind it, and one can actually charge, so to speak, the word with these fields. And this happens with our Knowledge Seekers Workshop, as well as the headphone-based communication that we have with the enhancement. So it's in the audio range. Of course, the headphone operates in the audio range, but you can overload it. And there's a way to do it, and one is through intention, and And some of us have practiced these kind of communication, and it's really very effective. Sometimes you don't even have to speak, and so and as we know this, when we listen to these workshops, and there are translations of it, we have workshops in various languages. Sometimes they don't carry some of these fields. So although we may not understand the language as well as we can, our native language, it is good to listen to these workshops in the form that they're delivered in English, or other things that they're like enhancement unit. So that we get this underlying fields as well. And this is particularly true for people who are not as well versed in the English presentations as is commonly done in Keshe Foundation. And translation in some cases don't carry some of these things. And so this is something to be aware of. And now that enhancement unit is regularly used in the knowledge seekers workshop, it is important to listen to at least parts of it directly without comprehension of the language itself. So once again, we are moving into the territory of feelings, emotions. And so it's a transition from our overly intellectual and overly thinking kind of part of our ability to perceive things, and rely more on things that are not attached to verbal languages. So this is something that's that can benefit us and can serve as a basis for some of our experimentation as well. So this is so in a way, as much as the words and the phrases and the concepts transforms us, so does this kind of things. So it is, it is just a use of our own intelligence to use the full spectrum of our capacities, or as much as we are aware of, and then take advantage of it. So I hope all of these kind of helps us not only to make our existing activities better, but also to forge the path for conducting our own set of activities with our own initiative to explore the space of emotion, both in the soul and the physical level, and see the links. Develop the necessary emotional detachment where it is necessary. And that can take us quite far in terms of applying these technology and science. Thank you very much, and I welcome anybody else who wants to talk on this topic or their experience in this area. So anyone else? Thank you.
Yes, my dear Moshfik, as you explained so beautifully, you always do. And I will say, now I can say that really, I adore you, my soul. I love you, my soul. I live with you, my soul. You have seen me in this beauty and totality, my true self. So beautiful. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you. Salam, namaste, salute.
All right. Thank you, Mashfaq. And next we have a 2-minute excerpt from this, say 604th. Should be from the 603rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Okay. So let me get that lined up here. Okay. I think it's an invitation for testimony about the Keshe Foundation. In any case, let me get it lined up. And there we go. And here we go.
Very soon, we'll be joined by a race which brings a knowledge to man the man could not even imagine exist. It'll change our dimension of understanding of the creation. They bring new emotions to man. And they bring to us a dimension of knowledge which we don't even know exists. It's not even in our imagination that such a thing can exist. And this process will be, it'll bring with it new dimension, and with it, it comes an elevation of this, what we call the soul of the man. It's part of what is about to happen. And you know what we say, part of it doesn't take tomorrow, but it's part of the process it needs, and it'll be that process. And it's just to do with human race and with this part of the universe. It's like when they say, you see, they tell us there's a meteorite in the solar system is coming toward us. There is an energy pack which is on the way towards this universe, which will change the vibration of it, the conversion of it from the universal energy to our universal energy. It will create a ripples field which will enlighten the whole of this universe. It's another process. It's not just Earth that gets by meteorites or by energy packs from outside. We receive an energy from the process which is happened in the process of the creation in the universe. And that will bring enlightenment. And partially the reason we teach is knowing that it's on its way. And then it comes together, because that will take you to the, let's say, one step that will bring the whole of the knowledge, the whole of understanding of the life in this universe 2 or 3 steps higher. But it's the process. You won't even feel it. It just hits you and you understand why you understand this. I couldn't understand it yesterday. Have we called the day, Rick?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
You're welcome.
Yes, sure, Mr. Keshe. Anybody who has any questions remaining can please carry them over until next week's program, and we can see. All right, that's our excerpt from the 603rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And back we go to the program. And I think now we can talk about the next month's transmit. Why did that change? My program is randomly changing on its own here. Bear with me.
An assistant without you even knowing it. Yes, these are the transmutation tests that are scheduled for August, September, and October. Again, I think the souls that need to be there will be there. but this is a way to keep the Keshe Foundation free to understand more and to perfect the systems in the background. You may even receive a small gift. But this whole idea of transmutation, once we understand how we're working, should be, it's part of us. This is what we're doing in the body. We're splitting neutrons regularly and consistently. We're transmuting copper into zinc. We're having daydreams, which is a type of transmutation. We're feeding ourselves 80% of the energy through the transmutation process. We just haven't understood this whole thing. So this is where we talked about the free guinea pigs in the workshops. This is where you can pay to be a guinea pig for humanity, in a way, to develop a system that can be perfected and delivered to the whole lot. So we're privileged again and humbled to be able to be part of these systems. It's still open. The next one is this Friday. You can start to test. And again, Mr. Keshe doesn't exactly tell us what's being tested in the background, how it's being tested, if the group is divided or not divided into different sections, but they're perfecting the system, and this is how we keep the Keshe Foundation free for humanity, that no government or no business organization can dictate and stifle the research with other research, that it never gets delivered. So this is part of the process, and everyone's welcome to be part of it. You actually get cataloged into the entire system. But I think that's happening as well in the workshop. So again, you can pay to be a guinea pig, you can be a free guinea pig, or you can participate in both. And we encourage your participation. Anyone else want to add anything else?
Well, I can just say that it certainly is an interesting process. And as we say, and has been said by Mr. Keshe a long time ago, it's an inside job. And it's up to us to make the steps to be able to get there, to be able to do our own transmutation, our own travel, or other types of effects that we need to accomplish or wish to accomplish. And it's a learning process where you learn about yourself and some of the barriers perhaps that we unconsciously or even consciously erect to prevent our own transmutation. So sometimes the physicality kind of gets in the way or doesn't play along and has to be convinced in a way. But
right, it's our energy dimension, which we're not comfortable with, and we don't even want to admit that it's happening. But this is our true nature, and this is what's helping the system, I think, to develop across the board, whether it's for feeding, energy, wellness, transmutation of the soul and the physicality. So many things are going on in the background, and I'm sure in the future we'll hear more about the results. I know we see some graphs, we understand a little bit of it, but it's quite an amazing process to be able to show the work of the soul, to show the soul in pictures actually as energy and its interaction with the physicality and the soul of physicality. So it's a beautiful process. Again, we're privileged to take part in it, even though it does appear a bit expensive. It's probably pennies for what it's going to deliver for humanity. So if you can, if you're able to, join us in these sessions. I don't know how much longer they'll go on, but yes, there is a discounted version as well, which you can still take advantage of. You get a small discount if you sign up for all 3 sessions at the same time, but that will disappear after Thursday probably.
And it lists till October 24th as the last one in this particular series, but I'm sure that well, I'm not sure. We'll see if it gets renewed at that point.
Right. As he said, the whole system is hidden in the coins and the everything else, and this is part of it. So this is part of bringing that bigger structure of the one nation network.
Okay, very good. Well, it seems we can move to the needs and wishes parts of our program. Is that correct?
Thank you. Yes, correct. Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much. Needs and wishes, dear beautiful souls. And before the wishes, I ask and welcome to the souls, those who are present, beautiful souls. Any sharing they want to do, any question, as we are all learning, anything you want to say, they please do. You are so much welcome. We will take some time and then we read the your wishes.
Okay, I can read the wish. We, the Universal Council, give through our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet. Our wish is our command. Next, thank you.
Okay, we did have a question from Tender in the YouTube, which I didn't see previously, who asks, when did Mr. Keshe meet this race? Where did he meet them, and in what circumstance? Appreciate any answer. Thanks.
As I understand it, it was recently, and it was at the energy level, at the soul level, and he was giving the example. We have the Earth Council here, and we have the Universal Council and some other councils, but in the universe, they have a Universal Teachers Council. Remember, Rick, in school, they used to have the teachers conference? Well, Mr. Keshe met on the soul, on the energy side, and he said it was recently. It doesn't happen too often. There were some souls there, and apparently the way he's been handling humanity was an elevation for the other universal teachers, as I understand it. And again, this is my understanding of what was brought forward by Mr. Keshe. I didn't realize that they have these periodic meetings of universal teachers, but they were quite impressed with the way mankind is being handled patiently, slowly, gradually, but collectively.
Yes, Mark, mankind will be handled patiently.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it is. Every being is to be attended by this universal community because this is the need of now. And my dear Tender, There is no such place. Everywhere is this place. The whole planet will be enlightened with these teachers, this way, and this is already happening. So
Right.
prepare yourself.
We have Universal Council here, which is part of this meeting, the universe also, as I understand it, has a universal council. So what we see in the large, we see in the small, and what we see in the small, we also see in the large.
Yes, 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 my dear. So everything now is everybody can see. So be your true self, my dear beautiful soul. This is the time, and the universal teachers are here to to give love, to teach us how to understand, how to travel in space, how to live peacefully, how to integrate with one another peacefully. And this is so beautiful. So thank you, my dear Tender, for asking the question. Thank you.
Good answers. Thank you, Mark and Shweta.
Now we can we can move to the next wish if there is no sharing or question. My dear Rick.
Did we cover the first wish?
Yes, yes. Lisbeth has covered
Okay,
the first wish.
right.
Yes. We, the Universal Council, give freely from our soul to elevate the souls of leaders to achieve peace in the Middle East now. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of leaders to maintain and enhance peaceful cooperation between China and the West.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of our brothers and sisters of India and Pakistan for peace and enlightenment now. Our wish is our command. We are present. Thank you so much, beautiful souls, as the key. We are the key. We are here to serve, not to be served, dear beautiful souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Suswagatam into the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome to the beautiful energy of all peaceful universal souls. Welcome to the integration we are in with the universal community. Dear beautiful souls. Be in love, be in the blessing, be in joy. Join, love, hug, Keshe Foundation, follow. Thank you, my dear beautiful souls. I get sometimes so emotional that this is the time now. And of course, be in love with Keshe Foundation. We are together in this path of enlightenment. The Universal Council. All the love always. Salam. Namaste. Salut.
Hello, hello. I can invite the please continue observe a change during the when the Minister Keshe started last 598 connected weekly to the systems, new system for TED. Please continue observe you changing the behavior or are you on our body about the food time or less or more or anything around it. Please note and maybe write to the Keshe Foundation and info@keshefoundation.org because it's very important. Actually, Mr. Keshe tested weekly with us. Thank you so much, and thank you, beautiful souls, for unify your soul, for construct for living in peace and construct the soul of the peace. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, thank you, Sweta and Lissy. And oops. Bear with me a second here while I get through a few layers of things and their background. There we are. As I was saying, thank you everybody for being here today, and many thanks to our members and support members of the Universal Council for today's presentation. And we look forward to another show next week. We'll be into September at that point. Hard to believe, but it will be September 2nd already when our next program here. for the 394th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. Today has been Tuesday, August 26th. Thank you again, everyone, for attending. And our next public teaching workshop will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which has been mentioned in today's show. And that starts at the 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time, which is the same as 10 p.m. Pacific Time on today, Tuesday, August 26th. But the plasma group will be on Wednesday, August 27th, again, starting at 7 a.m. And folks are welcome if you have any questions or things you'd like to present, that would be the avenue for doing so. Okay, I think we're ready to go out with our usual musical ending. And
then we have this emotional dance. Thank you. Blessings, dear beautiful souls. Clap, clap, and dance, dance.
Yes, indeed.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Clap and dance your way through the day. Thank you, everyone, and bye for now.